Hello, it's me again, right? Okay, but in this video, we're going to see the gender of the nouns. The gender of the nouns. Why the nouns have a gender? Well, in Spanish, you have the feminine nouns and the masculine nouns. But for that, we will have to first learn the articles in Spanish. First, let's take a look at this picture. You see, this is a dog and its family. Is this dog lonely? No, has a family. So it's a specific dog. So that's why it's the dog. So it's el perro, okay? El perro. Now let's take a look at this picture. They're dogs and a family. So are these dogs lonely? No, they're not. They have a family. So there's los perros. This is specific. Los perros. This is definitive. Okay, those words masculine. We saw the masculine, singular, and plural. Now we're going to see the feminine. Let's take a look at this picture now. This is a house. But this house is any house? No. The house belongs to family. So that's why it's la casa. But casa is feminine in Espanol. It's la casa, the house. Okay, now let's take a look at this picture. These houses, yes, they are lucky family. They have houses. So these houses belong to a family. So are las casas, the houses from the family. Las casas de la familia. Okay? Perfect. Now let's see the indefinite articles. Those words definite because we know what we're talking about. Okay? So indefinite. Let's see this. Take a look at this picture now. So there's a dog and he's by himself. Do you know what is the owner? No, I don't know. Do you? No, that's what is a dog. So it's un perro. Un perro. Now let's take a look at the other picture. There are many dogs. Whoa. Do they have an owner? No, we don't know. So that's why it's some dogs. Unos perros. Very good. Unos perros. That's the masculine indefinite, right? Un perro, unos perros. Okay, now, house. Does it look like it has an owner? Maybe, but we don't know, right? So that's why it's una casa. It's a house, but feminine, right? Una casa, a house. Let's take a look at these pictures. There's some houses in here. Houses are feminine. Do we know the owner? No. That's why it's unas casas. Unas casas. So this is the indefinite, and we saw masculine, feminine, and we saw singular and plural. Okay? So now let's go to the gender of the nouns. Gender of the nouns, this means rules of the genders of the nouns. Okay? So in the gender of nouns, you have two big groups. Okay? Two big groups. Living creatures, rules of the living creatures, and rules of the non-living creatures. Reglas de criaturas vivientes and reglas de criaturas no vivientes. So let's check it out. For example, perro means dog. Gato, cat. Mom, do you know? Mama, mom. Chico, boy, amigo, friend. Okay, so all these ones are living or not? They are living, right? So these are called criaturas vivientes. Criaturas vivientes, because they are living, okay? Criaturas vivientes. And then you have beings, non-living beings. So criaturas o seres no vivientes, which means non-living beings. For example, pen, house, or bed, right? Are they living? No. And why do we have two big groups? Because they have different rules, okay? They have two different rules. So let's go to the first rule. The rules of living creatures. Unfortunately, most of the nouns, they don't have actually, like I said before, they don't have a rule. But in these ones, we can tell that in the living ones, for example, in here, check this out. In what do they end all of these words? In, you see here, in O, very good, then in O, gato, chico, and primo. And these ones, they end in A, very good. They all end in A, which means that at least most of the words that end in O are masculine, and most of the words that end in A are feminine. But the living creatures, they have a lot of exceptions, unfortunately. For example, papa is masculine and other ones. With the difference to the non-living creatures that they only have 6 exceptions. So the first one, do you see in what do they end all of these words? Yes, they all end in A, very well, in A the end. But they are masculine. Es el día, el mapa, el planeta y el sofá. But they are non-living creatures, okay? As you can see. Map, day, planet. And then let's see this. In what do they end these 2 words? Mano and radio. With O, very good, means hand and radio. This O, they end in O, but they are feminine. So you see, these are 4 and 6. There are 6 only exceptions. So the non-living creatures, all the ones that ends in A are feminine and end in O are masculine, except for these 6 ones. Okay, so perfect. So let's continue with the living creatures. In the living creatures, you have also this type of rules. So let's check it out. For example, in here, what are these? What are profesor, maestro, doctor, contador, arquitecto, abogado? Teacher, doctor, accountant. What are they? Professions. Very good. They are professions. So in the professions, as you can see, they end in what? This. In either O or R. Can you see? Okay, so in the professions, they end O or R. If it ends in that, they are masculine. And if you want to make them feminine, to the ones that ends in R, you see what you add. An A. Very good. And then if it ends in O, you just change it for an A. Very good. So those on one hand. And what happened with these ones? What they are? Artist, student, singer, artista, estudiante, cantante, agente, comediante. What are they? They are also professions. But in this case, they are unisex. What does it mean? It's like in English. Artista can be masculine or feminine. And how you differentiate them? Can you tell? How do you differentiate them? By the article. You differentiate them by the article. You see, so it's la artista will be feminine, el artista will be masculine. You don't have those many. Check these ones. They're the most important ones. So don't really worry about it. So we talk about the professions. So now let's go to these ones. The rules that they end, what do they end all of these words? In what do they end all of these words? So they end in sion. Very good. They end in sion. And the ones that ends in sion are feminine. So now we're going to see the endings of some words that are inanimate, okay? But let's check it here. In here, can you see what do they have in common, these words? Check out the ending. Very good. If you say ION, is correct, but they end in CION or SION. And they are both, yes, feminine. Okay, now let's check out these ones. They end in, what do they end? What you can see in the ending? It ends in DAD. And the ones that ends in DAD is feminine. Very good. DAD. Now let's see at these ones. Can you see they have something in common? Yes, they end in TAD. TAD. Very good. And they are also feminine. Now let's look at these ones. What do they have in common? Very good. TUD. Okay, so now check up these ones. In what do they end? Remember, it's inanimated objects, okay? Very good. They end all in ma. And the ones that ends in ma, inanimated, are masculine, okay? They are masculine. Okay, so thank you very much. This is the gender of the nouns. You have the exercises to do down below. So I'll see you in the next video.